Hey guys, Trevor John coming to another Watcher of Realms video. So if you didn't see it, I did summon all of my shards and I did quite a few things, got a few champions. However, I didn't get anything that I was looking for that was going to potentially help me with Immortal Codex. More specifically, the champion that I really was looking for and hoping for was actually Elwyn. Right, getting Elwyn, because I really need something along the lines of this this ultimate ability, with as well as the simple fact that she has this rage restoration. Right, I was looking for this because I'm trying to more round out my account and do a lot more of the content. Right, so content such as the Void Rift, which I've not really focused on because it's just so time consuming, and the Immortal Codex. I feel like this style of attacks is really fun. Really cool. Conqueror, I've got down okay a little bit. Hellfire Empire, I've got a couple of strategies I'm working on. I'm probably going to be increasing them. However, my Lord of Styxx, I was at like F rank. I couldn't do it just because mainly I didn't have the proper champions built for multiple attacks for breaking the shield, or I could get the shield broken, but I wouldn't have the DPS to follow it up, right? Like, so it was kind of a gear restriction. So what I did is, by actually taking some other champions like Sally, I was able to cheese it and get who at least C rank, which is top 20%. Now that I have this baseline established, I do feel like I could potentially increase my damage and push it forward. And the greatest thing is you have 9 days for this, right? 9 days for this, and I can get a little bit more rewards on my redeem shop, which is going to be nice. I'm definitely going to be buying all of these bad boys here because I have some really GG stat gears that just need to reroll. So we're going to try it. We're going to see what happens. But in this video, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you what I did on Lord of Styxx and kind of walk you through my thought process on it to see if it'll help you guys. I will note really quickly so that way no one wastes their time. If you do not have Sally, if you don't have, or Sadie, sorry, I don't know why I called her Sally. If you don't have Sadie, this isn't going to help you a whole lot, because this all relies on her ode to time, and actually even then, so like, it doesn't even matter how leveled up this is, right? Like, skill cost minus 100 would help me, but I'll go into detail more as to what I have going on so that way you guys can replicate it. All right, so damage wise, this can definitely be optimized. However, a couple notables that you need to be aware of with this particular composition. One, rage regen. I've got her at about 106 and 5. Now, the reason why is because I don't have Elwyn. I think I would only need her probably around 80, 75 if I had Elwyn. I don't. So I had to push her up. I got her to 106 and 5, and I could swap out, what was it? This one, I think I could swap out this one for a little bit more rage regen. The problem is just I don't really have the best of gear to do so, because rage regen has never been anything I focused on. I've always focused more on attack speed than I have rage regen. Also, if my skills were a little higher, if I had this maxed out and this cost 100 less, easy peasy, wouldn't need it as much as I do. It definitely helps having everything else maxed out, and she does do a fair bit of healing because I do have her in HP gear. Now, the reason why I have her HP and rage regen, right? Rage regen is huge. It's one of these sets, so I get that extra 6%. The reason why I have her in all HP is because I do want her to be able to heal, and with her ultimate, right, she's going to be taking the damage. So the higher the HP, the easier it is to take care of and manage for her. The next key notable champion that we are using, I tried Madon. I tried my Aelin. Aelin's solid champion for just straight up healing. Who else did I try? I tried another healer that I have. Another solid healer. Oh, I tried Vortex. That was a disaster. The one that I settled on was actually Hollow, which I know is contradictory to, I think, a video that Karzak the Bull made, where he said he tried Hollow and it didn't work out as well for him. I did run into what his problem was. However, in this case, because I don't have Elwyn and Karzak does, this was the workaround. This worked 100% for me, because her ultimate, guys, if you didn't see my healer guide video, when her ultimate, basically, when it's triggered, the hero's healing multiplier is multiplier by 45 seconds for 20 seconds, and the hero can heal one additional ally, right? So now she can do 2 heals per team, which isn't a whole lot, but it does help her do the heal. But also, while it's active, right? So while Light of Bliss is active, recovers 1.4% rage for allies in the range. So this right here is huge. So not only will she get 2 heals on the other healers or other heroes, sorry, and the multipliers, she's also going to get that rage regen. And the fact that she's an epic means she's super easy to fully book. That's the biggest thing, right? Because now she can be fully booked, makes this work. Also, her rage regen, just so you're aware, only needed to be 82. I do believe it may be something to do with the simple fact that her ultimate here is at 500, right? So notice that her cost, right? Her cost is down comparatively. So if we look at that, you've got 900 and 500. If we go to Sadie, this is also, I'm literally trying to figure this out live. It just dawned on me. Yeah, 1200, 600, right? So notice that difference, right? So you've got 300 cost more, 200 cost more. So the fact that you could have at least 30 less makes total sense to me, because you will notice during the fight that these two guys will literally get their ultimates at almost the same time. So she needs about 80% rage regen. Do not go under that. Will not work well. You want to try to get her as much attack as well. So we did go rage regen here. Once again, if I could get a better rage regen piece with attack bonus, that would be awesome. However, I don't, and that's why we're keeping this set. So we're going to use her HP for attack, because I do need the heals, and you'll see that in the run. Also, the other part of this strategy is if we look at the field, right? So when you're thinking about what champions to use with this type of composition, because we talked about the 2 major champions you need, which is Sadie and Hollow. When you look at this field, you can see, okay, well, here's the layout, right? Like the layout here represents to where you can see, okay, I can get probably 3 spots, right? So 3 ranged champions. So think of, you've got 2 locked in, Sadie, Hollow. Then you've got a 3rd person. So this means that you could potentially use a damage dealer. I'm using Silas. However, my Silas isn't necessarily the best. Hex would also be solid in my case. I have Hex. There's other champions you could be using in place of these if you don't have them. The whole point of this is the fact that what comes after getting those 2 champions built and ready is its DPS. It's all DPS. We don't ever break the shield, ever in this strategy. In this comp, you 100% tank the shield or the AoE. So that allows you to figure out what champion you want to use here. You want to use set room, you want to use who do you want to use them. But basically, I'm going to use Silas here, and then I'm going to have 3 other champions. Now, right here is the physical champion who has to have a little bit of range. They're going to need to go at least 2 tiles forward. So what this means is when you start looking at your champions that you want to use, you want to make sure that you are using champions that have range. In my case, I'm using Tordor. Okay, so I'm going to use Tordor for the range. He's also a Lord, which is helpful. Notice that I've grouped at least 3 of the same faction together. This was intentional. I did think of using potentially Cyrus. He wouldn't necessarily be the greatest for this by any means. However, he could do a little bit of something for you. But just not necessarily the one that you want to take, right? I could also be using Arrogance in place of Valera. Don't necessarily need her. I'm using her. She does work well. She does a lot of damage for me. I could probably try swapping her out for Arrogance for Zillitu, see what that does for me. Right now, my thought process is I'm trying to do as much burst damage as possible with quick, short ultimates that I can control. Arrogance, I can't control his ultimate, which is why I'm not using him. Because this is an auto, if it doesn't line up right, it's going to be a lot of wasted effort. Zillitu, though, she's manual, so she could potentially be good. However, I would be losing a little bit of the bonus of the faction lords. I'll probably test this later, see how it goes, see what differences that I can really make. But right now, this team seems to work okay. I've got 2 epics in here. Also, we we just had the Vlad event, so everyone should have this champion. I do have him fully awakened. I had a lot of extra awakening stones. This does make a big difference. His damage is pretty good, to be honest, and he was easy to max out because he is an epic, so they're a lot easier to build. 100% crit rate, crit damage, got some attack on him. His attack could be a little bit higher. I would like that to be more like 8k. However, I got 200 plus crit damage, so I'm okay with it. It's good. Also, because he does the bleeds, he's the only person I have the Scarlet Hunt on. I don't have Salazar, so I'm going to use him, and we're going to roll with it and see how it goes. But yeah, this is basically the strat, guys. I'll go ahead and I'll run one battle through with you guys. You'll see I make it to the end. I've done this a lot on auto. This will be the first time again where I'm going to do it not on auto. We're going to do it live. Why? Because I'm a glutton for punishment. And if I mess up, then you guys won't feel so bad when you yourself mess up when you're setting this up. So notice this is a placement. Tornor is in the back because he needed to hit that spot, right? We've got Valeria up here. We have Vlad on the corner here. Now, I have noticed that sometimes, unfortunately, Valeria will die. I could increase her HP and see how that goes, but unfortunately, she does die sometimes. Also, I want you to notice that right here, she's at 75%, Sadie here is. What we're looking for is you'll see the shield go up. Now, Silas's ability is open. We're not going to use it because it's going to do nothing. Notice he loses no damage during this effect, right? So why would I waste any of my ultimates during this time frame? It's unfortunately that ring pops off. Now, notice that we were just over the D of the ability here. We're going to pop it. Boom. Okay, as you can see here, everyone's health maintained half level. As soon as this runs out, I pop hollow. Why? Because I want to go ahead and sitting there talking, I forgot to click faster. I want to have all these abilities up as well, because right here is when he's vulnerable. This is when you want to be doing all the damage, is right this second. But anyways, the big thing that I'm trying to achieve here is by having her ability going, this is going to regen Sadie just enough to get us by, and we break the last, we end all of his HP right before the shield procs again. That's the huge best. Like, you got to have this set up so that way you don't have to tank. This way you can just basically use her ability every single time. If you don't, what happens is this timer is a little different, and she doesn't regen in time, essentially. Now, once again, Soul Keeper shield is counting down. This is not the vulnerability state. So don't waste your stuff, right? If you have anything up here, don't waste it. We're gonna let the shield come up, and voila, shield's up. We're 4 minutes into the fight. Once again, we're gonna be looking for this D line. As soon as we see this general area, because it's during the ultimate effect, and it seems like that is the best timing. Karzak the Bull figured this out. I'm very thankful that he figured this out. I go about right at the center of the D or so. We pop the ability. Boom, done. And still available. You see the halfway mark. Proc hollows, healing, get everyone healed. Immediately start smashing the buttons because this is going to be vulnerable. Now, here's the thing. You could potentially use some of the abilities before this one. I would not recommend it. It will do damage, but you want to try to get in that rhythm. This seems to be the best rhythm for this composition for getting the rage regen back in time to use their abilities. Now, you will notice that Silas's ability probably isn't going to be procced. I don't have any rage regen on him whatsoever because I'm using him in another strategy for single target nuker. So it doesn't lend itself to it. I can't do it. But now you can see that, hey, Sadie's back up again. We're going to watch that D. We're going to wait until it gets up there. So we're literally going to wait until we see this about right there. We're going to go ahead and pop it. Boom. It's popped. Now he's going to hit everybody. Boom. Everyone lost half their HP. As soon as her ultimate's done, right? As soon as Sadie's ultimate's done, we're proccing our hollow. Boom. Everyone has their ultimate back up. We're trying to keep this very much in tune because you want to be using their ultimates while this is available for you. This allows them to do a little bit more damage. It's the only way I've found to do stupid damage to this guy consistently anyways. All the other damage I've done has not been great per se. There we go. We made it to D. We're halfway through this fight. We're at D rank currently. These guys are not geared the best in any way, shape, and form. So definitely keep that in mind if you are trying to do this. It's not about your gear. It's about your timing. Fortunately, right there, that was kind of a late deploy, but we still got it off. And then we're gonna go ahead and get the rage regen going faster than we can. If we don't, what happens is Valeria, for me, will die a lot of the times. That was what Karzak ran into, unfortunately. So now we'll go ahead and pop our abilities. We're getting really, really close to the end here. And once again, but we're maintaining. That's the biggest thing. I'm gonna not use his skill right now. Reason being is because it's going to be wasted. I'm going to let it rebuild, so that way we can then use it on the other rotation with everyone else as well. Just trying to maximize damage. Obviously, if you min-max and do some work on your rage regen, you will have a lot better success. You could potentially pop Hollow here, get her back in rhythm. What happens is you're going to keep fighting that battle. Sometimes you're going to win and lose. If you don't have your rage regen high enough, then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? Then you're kind of still hurting overall. Notice that the D is just now, we're getting just past it. However, she's at 98%. So by starting it at the front of that D and then slowly bringing it back is how I'm able to do this. If my rage regen was higher, it wouldn't matter. It'd be a moot conversation. If I had Elwyn, it wouldn't matter. It'd be a moot conversation, right? Unfortunately, that's not the case for me. Boom, she's almost done now. And we'll go ahead and pop her ulti. So the reason being is just because we want to make sure that we are keeping everything synergized. We'll go ahead and use his ability, like I was saying, because we didn't want to waste it before and throw it when it's going to go and land on the shield. We're going to use this ability now. Once again, we only got 5 seconds left. I'm going to use Valeria. I'm not going to use Silas. Why? Because Valerie, her ability is going to go ahead and use up most of the shield. And boom, if we were using Silas, he'd be wasting a lot of his damage, a lot of his attack into here. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, is wasting the damage. Now, this is all about timing. All about timing. Your DPS is what your DPS is. It is what it is. Once again, we're at 94%. We're slowly creeping back. However, this is the last rotation. So as long as we can get the ability to proc before he comes down and does the AoE, right now, and just barely missed it. But that's what I mean, guys. It's all about that timing. Unfortunately, I just barely missed it. That's a bummer. But anyways, that was the last rotation. You wouldn't get into another situation. You'd be using everybody's ultimate, and boom, then you would get about the C rank. It's kind of unfortunate, but like I said, this is with me talking through it, right? If you guys were actually doing this and not talking, paying closer attention, you get a lot better score. Overall, in general, you can see that the bleeds did a lot of damage, right? Vlad did a lot of damage. Valeria did a lot of damage. Tordor, his damage wasn't great. I could probably change some of his gears, make it better. Same thing with Silas. Silas, once again, it's just getting that rage regen going, because what's happening is unfortunately, even the artifact that I have on him is proccing independently. I can't force that proc, so it's not necessarily helping me like it would be if I was using a different artifact. It's all about what DPS you're going to be using and how you can achieve it. But the long and short of it, guys, because once again, I'm not a pro. I'm not trying to be a pro. I'm just trying to help a lot of you out there who maybe have Sadie. 90% of you out there have Hollow. Is at least then you can get the C grade. And the reason being is just because I want you to get as many points as you can. Even if you can get to the B grade on DPS, that's great, 1800. Why? Because when you go to the points rewards and you go to redeem them, right? Like let's say we want to redeem our points. I got 5,800 with my current setup. What's great? Yeah, I could go ancient summonings, get those, some of them. They're great value, so to speak, because they're expensive. However, it's a lord. At the end of the day, do you want to waste all your resources on this? It's not that practical. That's what I'm getting at. However, what is practical is this for 5-starring champions. These, in my personal opinion, are more valuable than any ancient shard. So I can grab all 3 of these bad boys. Boom. I can go reroll gear now. Maybe this will help this team. At the end of the day, getting a few thousand of these points to at least get the gear recasting, maybe getting the 5-star psychic, depending, like if you're free to play, I'd be going for this more than I would be this. Having lords is great, but honestly, I don't use a lot of the lords in this game. Or if I do, I'm usually using one of my epic lords, which are a lot easier to come by. So definitely keep that in mind. You don't necessarily have to get the highest score in the world on all 3 of these. What you're looking to get out of this shop is going to be gear recasting, maybe it's 5-star food, and sure, any ancients that you can get, that's feasible. But energy is always key. You should be using your diamonds on energy. It'll help you out overall in general. That's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.